Hi there, this is Crypto Ice. This is my first ever YouTube video. Um, I actually really debated it for a little bit, and I decided that the world is crazy enough that I had some insights into things that I've just been sharing with people for the last 2 years. Like, if you've been my friend hanging around me for the last 2 years, um, the economy and in particular crypto is coming up. So I figured, hey, instead of bugging people online or in person, why don't I just start doing some YouTube videos and you can come and watch them or not. If I'm able to, provide some insight where you go and do some of your own research, again, I'm just going to do the spiel. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. This is just my insights that I've been in the cryptocurrency space since July of 2018. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying this market. And in the beginning, I thought it was weird, like most people. Magic, internet money, what is this about? Kind of blew it off, right? Didn't really think about it. Had another friend sit me down and actually made quite a bit of money, and I was like, okay, you made some money off of this. Maybe I should look into it. And ever since then, I've been 100% sold that this is the future. We are going digital as a world, and you can either be part of that ride or you can be on the other side of that when everyone else is, trying to figure it out. So you can either have the awareness and get ahead of this, or you can just find out when everyone else does. And I would rather, me personally, I would rather anticipate things and take advantage of situations. So that's my purpose being here. And I just want to say, for my first video, I want to talk about one of the main reasons that I am invested in cryptocurrencies. Okay? I just posted on Facebook recently about inflation. And for those of you that don't know, inflation started in the US with the Federal Reserve. It was created in 1913, right? And the thing is, inflation is set up where we have to spend money for it to work, right? So we're a consumer spending economy. If people aren't spending and consuming things, we have a big problem because our financial system's set up. People have to spend for the economy to be well. It's flawed that way, right? And as we've seen this worldwide pandemic lockdown, obviously jobs have been lost and things are uncertain. Consuming and spending is down. So we have the Fed out here printing trillions and trillions of dollars just to prop up the stock market, just to keep the economy going while everybody's home and doing their thing. And they're not stopping anytime soon. And, you thought inflation was bad before. From 1913, for instance, they had to meet inflation targets every year. So it's usually between 2 to 4%, right? So if, let's say, 3% a year, you know how you go to work and you try to get a raise at 3% so it matches inflation, but that sort of thing. Well, 3% a year for 20 years, the price doubles. Okay, so in the 1920s, you could go to the movies for a nickel. Well, today it's over $10, right? In the 1960s, you could buy a house for like $10,000. Now that same type of house, you're looking at like $300,000. Now that's not all bad for someone that's bought a house and experienced some inflation. I'm not saying that. Like that part, maybe a lot of us have benefited from the appreciation and inflation that's happened. But I think we can all agree that this is not going a good place. The dollar is becoming less and less valuable over time. It's built into the system to be less and less valuable over time. And now we have trillions and trillions of dollars being spent. And this was even before the pandemic. Back in September, the repo crisis, okay? The banks, they have this system where at the end of the night, they have to have a certain amount of reserves in their bank, right? And if they don't have enough, they ask other banks to loan them money and pay them back quickly, okay? It's like this system. Well, it came a time when these banks decided they were going to stop doing that. They're like, I'm not going to pay you, loan you this, because I don't know if I'm going to get it back, because the economy is becoming uncertain. People are not paying their loans at the banks, and so the banks aren't getting their reserve requirements met. Well, here we are. The Fed makes the Fed requirements, the reserves for the banks, go to zero, right? But my whole point in bringing that up is the Fed has been printing trillions of dollars since September. And I've been hearing about this for months before the pandemic happened. Now we're just in steroid mode. So if you weren't awake before, I would think that you might be now, that spending and printing money is like going like crazy. And so one of the main reasons I got into cryptocurrency is it's a hedge against inflation. You know, an expert like Robert Kiyosaki, right, who wrote the famous book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that is a worldwide bestseller. He describes it well. He says there's 3 types of money in the world. The first type is God's money. And he's speaking about gold and silver, right? Because gold and silver has been here since the beginning, and it'll be here after we leave. It's part of the earth. It's part, and the Fed can't print more physical gold and silver. It's not at risk of inflation. Okay, so that's the first type of money he talks about. The second type he talks about is government money. Now, government money, we're talking about 401ks. We're talking about what Robert calls fake assets, fake, the stock market, although it's been doing great for such a long time, we find that ever since 1971, when President Nixon took us off the gold standard, the money is not backed by anything but a promise. And a promise from your government is just not good enough anymore. Because when things get bad enough, promises can be broken. So what I'm saying is, all these things, when they got taken off the dollar, or the gold standard in 1971, inflation, right, has been out of control. Now, the third type of money that Robert talks about is the people's money, which is cryptocurrency. I'm going to talk about, Bitcoin was the original one. That's the one people usually have heard something about. But the thing with Bitcoin or XRP, some of these coins, they have a fixed supply. So say Bitcoin has 21 million coins. It cannot be any more created. Okay, it's like a math equation that cannot be changed, right? And I'm not going to go into all that today, but just know that there's a fixed supply that the Fed cannot inflate. And so this is where our world's going to. We no longer is the days where our money is just backed with a promise. Those days are soon to be over. We are heading back to days where our money is backed by assets, digital assets. And this is my belief. And so if you're trying to hedge your risk, I'm not saying, hey, sell the barn, go nuts. And this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you, if you're looking for a hedge against inflation and you want to get ahead of this, gold, silver, cryptocurrency, those are the 3. And you just have to decide if it's enough concern of where this is going that you want to do that. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts about that, and I hope that you enjoy these videos. I'm just going to share my top reasons for investing in cryptocurrency. And the first one is inflation. And hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.